This is not random. 1,100 dead from the Afghanistan earthquake, Mexico earthquake, the cannibal CME, and the Carrington event. You're gonna feel terrible the next 24 hours, but we'll get to that. So let's start out as usual. The Schumann frequency is showing us that something is up with the resonance of the earth, just the vibration that we are all living in right now, like it always has. But what really is a cannibal CME? Well, as you can see right here, it correlates perfectly with the earthquakes that we're having right this minute. Now, a cannibal CME is when they say the sun shoots out a flare, but then a bigger one comes out and eats it, and there's like interplanetary action and a shockwave that hits the earth. But did you know that on this day of 1859, we had the Carrington event? On this exact day, 1859, miners were waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning to make breakfast. They thought it was daytime. Also on this day, the most advanced piece of technology they had, the telegraph, went out completely everywhere. The northern lights were seen all over the world and even in Chile. Imagine that happened to our world today. What would happen? A massive blackout for weeks and months. It would destroy everything. But what really is a CME, or a solar flare? You see where it comes from, right? The north. What really is this frequency, and what is this Carrington event? Is it the beginning of our civilization? Listen to me very closely. When all these measurements of frequency shoot up on every recording device we have, what happens? The earth starts to shake. And shortly after, or around that time period, the roads are quite literally flooded with dirt, wet dirt. What exactly is all this abnormal frequency that we keep seeing that lines up with earthquakes, other chaos, and other disasters every single time? We do know one thing: it comes from the north. I have two things for you to pause and read. Pause and read this. It's about God always being in the sides of the north and Satan trying to go to the sides of the north. Mount Zion, maybe Rupus Nigra, and then look at this. What happens every time the Lord's energy appears? Everything trembles. Wow, crazy. We'll have to get into it at a different time. But what's this mean? The most chaotic earthquakes in the world are happening around us every single month. Disaster, floods, people's brains acting weird every month. I not only believe, but I will prove over the next few months that these Carrington events are, one, the start of our civilization, and also the end of our civilization. This won't happen in days and weeks, although it could. But one thing we do know is it's upon us right now. I mean, look at the beginning of next month, a blood moon, to start off perfectly, the planets in alignment, the earth shaking. What was will be again, the end of a season. But what do y'all think? Do y'all think we're gonna live here forever? Let me know in the comments. And in 2 hours from now, I'll tell you guys how we can all feel better inside this frequency. Something incredibly weird's going on. The more you watch this video, the crazier it's gonna get. Because this guy right up there has been missing for about 6 days now. That thing, and of course there's no interviews, no TV interviews, no spottings, whatever, but it gets weirder. Because people keep posting pictures they claim are certain things, and it actually turns out the pictures were a while ago. So why is this happening? Sorry, 3 times. They're claiming that this is him as well. Does it not remind you of the royal family? We're about to get into it. I just think it's insane that in today's time, we have situations like this where we don't know where people are who run the country. So if you know me, you know I like to do photo forensics. This is the picture of him claiming to be spotted today in Virginia. First thing to note, that floor is from Mar-a-Lago, not Virginia. Second, all AI processors said it was not an AI image. But look how just dark the lines are, especially on that mirror. That up there is what it's supposed to look like when it's an actual image. It's supposed to be natural and faint lines, not dark ones. I mean, honestly, that's kind of pointless. I could have showed you this first, because the metadata of this image shows that the base layer of the image was 2022. Now you'll say, oh, that's not Trump from 2022. We know that. The base layer of a CGI photo, meaning the base layer, the background, whatever they used first to put over new pictures, was 2022. It was also edited on an Apple computer. They're like, oh, he was spotted. And enhanced, that just does not look like him. And by the way, I'm making no allegations here. TikTok. Now Grok claims the picture is from May 29th, 2024. But the weird part, the image will not show up anywhere online besides just a few hours ago. So what's Grok talking about? Grok is probably noticing one of the elements or the pieces of the picture and is claiming that's the whole picture. But again, in what world is this kind of stuff necessary? Surely he could just make a video and say, here I am, it's me. It's just really weird. He had just posted this on his account, or maybe somebody else posted it on his account. unrelated, and completely unrelated again 1000%, we had him just come out and saying that he could take over. And then we had people flipping out when this video goes live on Twitter. But again, what kind of world are we living in where we have to do things like this? Everything happens for a reason. Do you know what's going on the other side of the world? Mysterious illness? This is the video that'll change your life. For years now, I've had worsening chronic brain fog, as well as really lightheaded and just really zoned out. Not just me, but my wife as well. And although certain things do make it worse, like the Schumann frequency or the air quality outside, if you or your family relate, then this right here is the video that you've been looking for. But first, let me preface this entire thing by saying, I'm not making any medical claims, any diagnosis, nothing like that. I'm just telling you about me and my life and what helped my life. You know how TikTok likes to play.
South Africa. 25 miles northwest.
I'll explain this in a minute, but a few years ago, we started getting all foggy-headed, zoned out, all sorts of stuff, feeling really fatigued, all for no reason. Looking back, now I found out it happened when we went from the Note 20 Ultra to the S22 Ultra. But the S22 Ultra, unlike the Note 20 Ultra, actually did use where Note 20 claimed they did, but they didn't have an antenna for it. Follow me, let's get deeper. But while annoying, it was manageable. And then we moved and we upgraded our Wi-Fi and we got these new phones, the 25 Ultra. Do y'all see that? What? But we didn't think about this yet because we had moved in and we noticed all of a sudden we were way more foggy-headed than before. And of course, I had my suspicions along with other contributing factors. Other things, and the Schumann frequency makes it worse, right? But I was like, what is wrong? Like, I feel so friggin' terrible every day. I can't sleep, never sleep. So I went ahead and bought this little meter, and this is on 4G. It's on 4G. Went up to 300. The Wi-Fi you just saw, the 6G Wi-Fi, went up to 1,000. So we made a change, and all of a sudden we've been feeling great, and I've slept 5 days in a row with not one single problem. Let me show you how to do that. First, only connect to Wi-Fi when you actually need Wi-Fi so it's not pulling it in your room where you sleep. There's a mighty big difference between like 100 megabytes per second and a gigabyte per second. So first, open your phone settings, and then you're going to go to the connections. It's very similar, should be on the iPhone. Then you're going to go to mobile networks right here. Allow something service. No, say no, no way, and it will automatically stay on 4. What I showed you at the beginning was the detection for the 4 and not the 5. The 5 is 100 times worse than the 4. Look, unless you're uploading high quality stream, this is 100 megabytes per second is plenty. For the most part, it'll even run your shows on your phone in 4K. And ever since I stopped using this and turned it from 5 to 4, I've had no problems and I have all the data I need. I couldn't turn this all the way off because security cams, much like maybe you, but you can log into your IP from your router and you can turn it down from 6 or 5 to 2.4. Way better in general. I'm telling you, it's very much worth it. This will make a major difference in you and your family's lives. So make sure you let them know.